Hey, I'm Paul Rabelais. I want to share with you what the typical estate planning attorney's client lifestyle looks like and then compare it to what a really successful estate planning attorney's client life cycle looks like. Let's start with the typical estate planning lifestyle. It looks something like this. You know, the typical attorney, they'll have maybe a website. You know, most attorneys have a website. Maybe they'll get the occasional accidental referral, and maybe they'll spend some money on Google Ads to try to drive some traffic to the Google Ads website, and they pay Google every time somebody clicks on that link. So those are really kind of the main three options that you have to get people to call your office. So they call your office, and hopefully, you know, you convert them into somebody who comes to see you. And then when they come to see you, hopefully you convert them into a client, and there you have it, a client. And then once that's over with, you go back to the beginning and start it all over again and hope that, you know, people will continue to call your office. So that's been the kind of typical estate planning client life cycle. But for most people, that's nowhere near enough to get you to where you're really successful and just have really an unlimited amount of ideal clients. So let's talk about what the ideal kind of estate planning client life cycle looks like. Okay, so the ideal or the PAR estate planning client life cycle starts with through one of many different ways. Start with you attracting clients to raise their hand and say, I'm interested. From there, the next step is to capture their contact information. Because not everybody, when they get exposed to you or your website, they're not all ready to buy immediately. So you have to capture that contact information so that you can go to the next step, which is to nurture that prospective client. And then from there, you move into converting them from a prospective client to an actual client. And then from there, you really have to give them and perform those outstanding services that you can provide. And then that leads you to getting referred by your clients and then starting that process all over again. Let's go through those steps in particular. Let's first start with how do you attract people to your website. You know, remember, there was really only three ways under the typical scenario, but we really need to expand that to about 15 different ways. Let's go through what those ways are. Obviously, we want to attract people through your website, not any website, a website that has fantastic quality and quantity of content so that the search engines find it, your clients find it. When they Google, your stuff pops up. So we really want to have an optimized emphasis on content website so that those search engines will find it. Also, we want to make sure we go through instead of an accidental referral program, we want it to be intentional. So you'll get some referrals. Some people will find you through your advertisements. Perhaps you'll put on some public events or some seminars. Just the fact that you advertise for those events, some people will see your advertisements. Might be something that you have in a newspaper or some other form of advertisement where people might say, well, I'm not interested in going to that event. I'll just call the attorney directly. You'll also attract clients by being a book author. So all of your contact information is your book. It'll drive people to your website. Another great way to attract people. They'll check out your book at the library. They'll buy it at Barnes & Noble. They'll buy it on Amazon.com. Or quite frankly, you'll just use it as your business card and give it to people. So that will attract clients. Perhaps you'll have an ebook. So again, doesn't cost anything. It's free. You just create it into that PDF ebook. And again, people will read that, be impressed, and that'll attract more clients. Another really popular way to attract clients is to have not just one, but many free offers. That free offer is an informational piece that your clients really want. They can't get it anywhere else. It could be on any of the niches of estate planning, whether it's about veterans benefits or blended families or avoiding probate or elder law or special needs children or parents with minor children. And that free offer can be in one of many different formats. It could be a written report, it could be a video or an audio or a narrated text video. So ultimately you'll have many free offers, and those will attract clients your way. You can have a LinkedIn company page, a LinkedIn personal page. People will come to see you because you have a YouTube channel. And as a result of that, all of your information's on the YouTube channel. They'll see something and then that'll attract them to you as well. Maybe people will get something in the mail from you. That'll attract them to you as well. You may get some publicity because now you're an expert in the community, so the media is going to start contacting you when they need some information. Perhaps people find you just because you put your website or certain information on the signature line of your email. Maybe you'll do something on the radio, and maybe people will find you through your company Facebook page. So there's about 15. There's more. But we want to make sure that you're attracting clients from at least one or more of 15 different ways to simply start attracting clients. Next, we move on to capturing their contact information. A lot of different ways to do that. People will go to your website and they'll see right there on your home page where they can get this free offer. All they have to do is submit certain contact information and they'll instantly get your free offer. Or maybe they'll want several of your different free offers, but the free offer that they select tells you what their pain point is so that you can continue to nurture that relationship and provide valuable information based on that pain point. So you'll have a website and it'll have a home page and there'll be a web form, on that home page where they can, fill out their name, their email address, and click a button that says, send me my free offer, and then it's an automated way for you to capture people's contact information. Also, some people will call in and inquire, call in to set up a time to come in and perhaps talk to you. You'll also capture people's contact information because you'll be holding seminars or different events. So some people will register for the events, some people will attend the events, some people will both register and attend those events. All those different ways you can capture at any of those points, you can capture their contact information. And then also your webinars that you give just from the comfort of your own home or office by marketing those, having people register for those webinars. That's another great way to capture prospective clients' contact information. So that's step 2 in the life cycle. There's 6 steps. Step 3 is you need to nurture those prospective clients. There's a statistic that says people don't choose to buy or do business with a firm until they've had at least 7 exposures to that firm. So what the nurturing does is, because people will come to your website, and if 100 people come to your website, maybe only 5 are ready to buy at that moment. The other 95, unless you nurture them, they're lost. So the nurturing campaign enables you to capture their contact information and then send them a series of different communications. And that might be mail, it might be email, it might be a combination of that, it might be a telephone call, or maybe it's just emails, and maybe those are every day, or maybe those are every other day, to get those 7 contacts, so that by the 7th communication, they've gotten their 7 communications and they're ready. So there are short-term nurture campaigns and there are long-term nurture campaigns. So perhaps every other day, once someone raises their hand and you capture their contact information through any number of ways, they'll get another communication from you. It's going to be another valuable piece of information that they're going to welcome from you, because you're going to keep teaching them and educating them on the specific pain point that they have. So there's some short-term nurture campaigns. In addition, if they don't wind up retaining your services in the short term, you can put them in a separate, long-term marketing campaign. So maybe once a month, they're getting your newsletter or they're getting something from you once a month, and that could go on forever. So there's both short-term and long-term nurturing those prospective clients campaign. Along the nurturing lines, this is a great area when it comes to nurturing. That's a great area to put all of your financial advisor contacts in. Every financial advisor in your community ought to be getting a weekly message from you where you educate them about certain estate planning aspects as it relates to the investment community. You can share stories, you can give case studies, you can educate about how the financial community and the estate planning attorney community can work together for win-win-wins. So the clients win, the estate planning attorney wins, and the financial advisor wins. So a weekly dripping of the financial advisor is really going to be helpful for you to increase those referrals that you get from your financial advisors. After you nurture all of those people, then at some point, kind of at their pace, you're going to convert them, into clients. So you'll convert them in one of three different places. They'll come into your office and you'll convert them there. Perhaps you'll convert them at a public seminar that you give and they hire you right there on the spot. Perhaps people will hire you at the conclusion of a webinar presentation that you give. So by converting them in your office, there is a certain way to have that conversation with that prospective client so that it's real easy for them and they get emotional as it relates to their specific concerns. They do 80% of the talking, you do all of the listening, you do some very careful listening, and based on their response to a question that you ask them, you listen very closely. You've got two ears and one mouth. You want to make sure you ask them the right next question. So again, not so much just vomiting legal information to your prospective client, but rather asking questions and listening and being that consultative attorney that they're looking for. So we want to convert them in any one of those three ways. Next, we want to serve them. So it doesn't stop. The selling and the marketing doesn't stop when they become a client. It doesn't end there. It's still important to market to them and really wow them as part of your client service process. So we want to have a kind of a service campaign where they continue to hear from you. You wow them. It's a new client campaign. So it doesn't take much to wow them, because most estate planning attorneys, once they get the client, they go back and they start looking for other clients. And if you can devote a little bit of attention, especially if it can be automated, then that's going to make it easier for you to move to the next step, which is to gain those referrals. Most of the referrals that attorneys or estate planning attorneys get, when they get them, I call them accidental referrals. Oh, great, I got a referral. A client mentioned my name to someone. A financial advisor mentioned my name to someone. But to do it right, those referrals can't be accidental. They have to be intentional. So at the referral part of the client process is where we want to be more intentional, and we want to survey them, and we want to ask them the right way if they were pleased. This is a great time to collect testimonials from satisfied clients, and it's a great time to ask them for additional referrals. So we go from this kind of typical estate planning client life cycle to one that really you attract clients one of only three ways, and it's really kind of accidental and you get kind of lucky when it happens, to a more intentional and proactive, starts with 15 different ways to attract clients, capture the contact information, nurture the prospective clients, short-term nurturing, long-term nurturing, financial advisor nurturing, eases them through the converting them into a client, through the consultative selling, serving them with the wow factor, and then being intentional, asking and surveying and getting testimonials to really encourage a high level of referrals. So that's where we are, and really there's only one way to get all of that. It's to work through our PAR estate planning system that we have. We're excited. It's what we've done for years to really grow our business strong. It's what we have to help you build the estate planning practice that you want and deserve. So if you have any questions about that, I would say give Carol James a call. She's our Director of Attorney Success. And you can call her or text her. Her number, 281-923-1677. Y'all have a great day.